right, folks. Welcome to the program. If you're joining me, then you might be doing something that might not be doing something that I'm doing, and then also watching the national championship game, uh, Washington versus University of Michigan, and I appreciate your attention. I have mine on the backdrop of my of my computer. The beauty of having two screens and both large enough to have multiple things going on. Welcome, everybody, to the show. It's the beginning of the week. Now, the beginning of the work weekend. Anyway, my name is Stuart Davis, flawed man of God, a humble parishioner at a small church just outside of Richmond, Virginia. Not a pastor, not a biblical scholar, and I haven't been to seminary. I'm not trying to get you to join my church or donate to any special cause. I'm just here to talk about God, talk about Jesus, talk about the Holy Spirit, talk about the Bible, talk about Christianity, talk about a wide variety of different topics, issues, and current events, and give you my perspective on them. One that I think is reflective of your average Christian guy. And I've been a Christian all my life, 41 years, non denominational Protestant. I don't subscribe to any particular doctrine or denomination. I'm just in the Word daily, trying to do it better each and every day. Sometimes I'll get it right. Many times I'll get it wrong. But no matter what, if you are on this stream, if you are watching, if you're listening to me in any capacity, what I say here, you can take to the bank is my honest take, my honest opinions, whatever it is we're discussing. So, if you are new to Christianity, or maybe you're not a Christian and you just want to get some information, you just want to understand what the whole Jesus thing, the whole faith thing is all about. And you don't want to get it for some super contrived or super popular and marketed Christian influencer on social media. Or maybe you don't even feel comfortable hearing it from a preacher on the pulpit. You want to get these impressions from somebody who would be sitting in the pew next to you. And if that's what you're looking for, pull up a chair and stick around, because that's the perspective you're getting. It is a very layperson discussion of faith, of the Bible, of whatever. It's not coming from a learned or a professional position, just somebody who has been soaking it all in for many, many years. And I can give you what I think is the right perspective and the right attitude on things. That doesn't necessarily mean I always have the right attitude. In fact, I might argue that I often have the wrong attitude. And there is always room for improvement. But a lot of times we see that people who have been pushed away from faith by others, or have lost their faith because of the actions of others, it's because what they see in other people don't reflect what we teach. Sometimes it's by accident. The other person's just broken like the rest of us. Sometimes it's more malicious, and that's, I think, does the most makes it the most painful when it's malicious, and it gives us maybe an excuse. Maybe it gives us some doubt and a reason not to believe. And I'll say this here, you'll hear me say it often, don't let anybody else's faith or treatment of you influence your faith. Don't let other people determine your salvation. It's your relationship with Christ, not theirs. You can do it better, possibly. You find it yourself. Don't depend on them. You've set yourself up for failure. Don't lean on people who are going to harm you. Lean on people who are going to build you up and help you out with your faith. But more than that, lean on God. If you are already a Christian and you just enjoy Christian topics and discussions, welcome as well. You'll see that we run this very similar to a Wednesday night study group or a Sunday school. It's all about it's all about God. But much of much of what we discuss is all focused around community. We're a small community. It's a great community. Um, and that's what a lot of the banter and the back and forth is. And with that said, no matter where you are in your faith, whether you are just a filthy casual, just stumbling into this faith thing, or you are somebody who is more mature in your faith than I am, get in the chat. I implore you, I beg of you, get in the chat. We have a great group of folks who tune in and night out. You can see some of them already commenting. But we'd like to hear from you. What am I doing? What are your opinions on what we're discussing? What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What is it that you might have some unique experience? What impressions do you have of what we're discussing? Share your thoughts if you want to. Obviously, I can't force you to, but I do encourage it. I do encourage it very much. And if you like the show, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe and share it because, like I said, I'm not here for money. This is not here for whatever. If YouTube decides to give me money, that's fine. I don't want any money from you guys. Um, and yeah, let's get into the show. Share this with other people. Man, it has been a week. I know if you guys were paying attention, if y'all guys were paying attention, I wasn't really ill, but you could tell I was dealing with like a cold in the background. Right? My nose was running, my voice was sounding more and more strained. If you listen to me try to speak on Blaine's stream Friday night, late Friday night, I could barely come across the mic. Somebody said I sounded like I was having a stroke. But it was the sickness in the house has been real, and my wife is still feeling the effects of it. But this morning, Monday, everybody, all the kids are back, all but one. The kids are back to school. So they've been off for a couple of weeks. With Christmas, you get out of that routine. My kids need routine, especially my kids, I think. So try to keep them on a pretty tight schedule. They get out of that whenever they're not in school. But we were trying to keep them kind of, hey, when you wake up, do everything that you normally do except for get ready for school. You still got to eat, do all this other stuff. Keep yourself in motion, keep yourself disciplined. And this morning, while I was worried that they weren't going to figure it out, they did. We actually got out of the door to go to school, to take them to school earlier than we have maybe at all this year. And that was great. Proud of my kids. They were doing it. And Sunday afternoon, after everybody was starting to feel better, it was a lot of chores for them, a lot of getting things ready, cleaning up. You got 2 weeks. Most of the time we've either been traveling or sick. So there was a lot of stuff that needed to be done, and they came through for me, man. You kids will make you proud, and there's nothing better than seeing how things are going. And so this has been a very good weekend, very good week, and hopefully you guys are experiencing something similar. Maybe you don't have kids, maybe whatever, but hopefully you guys are just having a good time. Hopefully you had a nice, like I say, restful, safe, productive weekend. So, yeah. And then the national championship is on. Buddy of mine is from Michigan. He's a huge University of Michigan fan. I'm a Notre Dame fan, so obviously there's a rivalry there, but Michigan is my favorite. Michigan is my favorite rival that we have, and we don't play them that much anymore. That's the thing; they're not on the schedule anymore. That was the rivalry game I look forward to the most. We play USC, we play Stanford, we play Boston College, and all these are great. But Michigan and Notre Dame was two schools with high academic standards that still were excellent. and seemingly don't compromise on those standards. Not like Alabama or Ohio State and some of these other schools where, you get a bunch of Dexter Manleys playing for them. Not that there's nothing wrong with not knowing how to read or write, but it's a school that allegedly has higher learning. Anyway, that's me. It's my favorite. It's my favorite rivalry. It's good to see him have success. I hope my buddy, again, he's from Michigan. Detroit Lions are also getting into the playoffs, so he's having a great time. I'm rooting for Michigan because I'm rooting for my buddy, and I hope he has a great day. He's an awesome dude. Um, there you have it. All right, let me get into this. All right, so Manuel Sorio's here, yes sir. Alex Moore sitting in multiple streams. I'm gonna get on Blaine's stream tonight because I watched Shangri-La Frontier this weekend. My son also enjoyed it, so I'm gonna talk about the localization there. So, at least I'm thinking about it. Alex Moore said, "Old as me, Stu. So it's been like 25 years since Michigan won. It feels. Imagine me as a Notre Dame fan. We've been to a couple national championships, in the last 10 years. So good. We're still relevant, but we got straight destroyed in both of them. So doesn't feel good. And we lost to Ohio State. All right, Matt Felty, shoveling snow away from chat. Matt, it's dark outside. Be careful, but be productive. We didn't get any snow this weekend. That's the part that upset me the most. I wanted snow. I want snow. I want my kids to be able to go out and play in the snow, in a foot and a half worth of snow. That's where you really get the fun. Emmanuel Sor said, Stu is a good grounded show. It's like going to a small group ready to learn. No BS, but great people. Thank you, sir. Well, we're kind of BSing right now, but we're going to get into it. Like you said, I'm glad to think that we come across as grounded, and it's a place to come and talk. God bless you, Stu. You can handle all those lovable liabilities. I will. It is a lovable liabilities is a great one. I welcome them with open arms. They can be liable all they want. I say that, and I'm probably inviting trouble by saying that. Alex, about the Notre Dame, Michigan. Yep, they were the games to watch. Not as awesome as the man upstairs. Amen. And good show, Stu. The author is a gamer for sure. Yeah, I've been wildly impressed with this. And as this is coming from when I saw the title of it, I was like, this looks stupid. Then Blake gave me the pitch on it, and I was like, I'm sold. Thad the man. I don't know if you've ever commented before, but thank you. Thank you for being here. Michigan is my favorite because if they win, Harbaugh will go to the NFL and hopefully the Bears, who drafted him, I think he was drafted by the Bears. I, being a bit of a Colts fan, growing up in a Colts household, Jim Harbaugh, man, he took us to the conference championship in the days in between Jeff George, and Peyton Manning. So Alex Moore said we had the doomsday shoppers in the storm that was at the tip of northwest tip of North Carolina, nowhere near me. They got to get all their ingredients for their milk sandwiches. Like, this is what I don't understand about the milk, right? If you lose power, what's going to keep the milk good? Get evaporated milk. We had that in the Army. Alex, I don't know if you ever remember having that. We had that in Iraq. I mean, it was an interesting it's an interesting concept in your head when you're looking at a pallet of evaporated milk or powdered milk. I can't remember. Evaporated milk sitting on a pallet, baking in the sun, and knowing I'm gonna have some cereal with that later on. The things we do when we are deprived of what is good. All right. So we're almost 20 minutes in. It's time to get into what we're really here for, which is the word. Discussing discussing what he has given to us. Yeah, me too. Um, discussing what he has put forth for us to make things not necessarily easy, better, better understood, more put into context. Things where we read it, we go, oh, yeah, that's why. And Psalms doesn't do this probably as well as Proverbs, but what Psalm does, I think gives me comfort. A lot of what I said, it's poetry, it's prayer, it's music, it's a lot of things. But what it is first and foremost is scripture. And so we're gonna continue on with that. We're gonna be in 27, Psalm 47 and 48 tonight. Oh, before I leave this, Tad talking about going to the Bears. I think Vegas is his best job, personally. Now, maybe they'll stick with Antonio Pierce, who's done a great job there. But if you're thinking about Jim Harbaugh likes to run his show his way. I'm not getting into this. I'm gonna get sidetracked. We're here for what's more important than me. Than me. And my proclivities and my things that I talk about. All right. Now that we're on the path, let's get it. All right. Psalm 47. Praise to God, the ruler of the earth. I like this already. To the chief musician, a psalm of the sons of Korah. Oh, clap your hands, all you people. We're not talking like this, though. We're going to do clap your hands so you can back and forth. This is the closest you're ever going to see me to get dancing, too. This is good. All right, start over again. Oh, clap your hands, all you peoples. Shout to God with the voice of triumph. For the Lord Most High is awesome. He is a great king over all the earth. He will subdue the peoples under us and the nations under our feet. He will choose our inheritance for us, the excellence of Jacob, whom he loves. Selah. God has gone up with a shout, the Lord with the sound of a trumpet. Sing praises to God, sing praises. Sing praises to our King, sing praises. For God is the King of all the earth. Sing praises with understanding. God reigns over the nations. God sits on his holy throne. The princes of the people have gathered together, the people of the God of Abraham. For the shields of the earth belong to God. He is greatly exalted. Man, Emmanuel, a little prophetic here tonight. Psalm are like your hype man to Proverbs. Straight man act. This is a hype psalm. This is a hype man psalm. This is, I mean, we when you hear the holy roller dramatized in media, or those of us who are friends with who are friends and viewers of the Nick Rekieta personality, when he goes into his little impression. Oh, clap your hands, all you peoples. Shout to God with the voice of triumph. For the Lord Most High is awesome. It really does. It really comes out like that. Be interesting to hear. It'd be interesting to hear this this spoken in Hebrew by an Israelite. Just to see the inflection and the delivery. So clap your hands all. So let's get into this. There's not really a whole lot to really pull out of this other than, look, God is great. God's awesome. I mean, they talk about it. You even say he's awesome, I think. Yeah. I mean, This is water's wet, but done in a very good way. All right. Oh, clap your hands, all you peoples. Shout to God with the voice of triumph. If you're in the mood for praise, here's the opening you were looking for. For the Lord Most High is awesome. He is a great king over all the earth. He will subdue the people under us, the peoples under us, and the nations under our feet. He will choose our inheritance for us, the excellence of Jacob, whom he loves. Selah. This is very straightforward. We're not going to cover 47 very much. We're unfortunately going to blast through this. But look, bookmark this. Bookmark this. If we'll get into this more once I finish. But basically, look, God's made promises to us. He has been great to us. He's made promises. He's fulfilled those promises. And those promises are good blessings. Great blessings for us. Because he loves us. He loves Jacob. And Jacob wasn't a perfect guy. In some ways, he was a bit of a scoundrel. He was a little bit of a scoundrel. A little deceitful. Didn't always have the highest quality of character. But he was obedient. I say this all the time. He was obedient. And he made his best to make do. And do what God wanted. In spite of his flaws. Jacob, like I said, God renames him Israel. And if you can look at Jacob and look at his failings and look at his flaws, and in spite of that, God still loves him. Listen, it's an amazing thing. If Jacob, not perfect, had got enough of God's heart that he did all this special stuff for him. What do you think? How do you think that excludes you and your past actions and your mistakes that you've made? Maybe the key is to get in the right path. Start obeying God. Start doing the right thing. Start believing in him. Start seeking him. And living the life you should. And then he gives blessings. Blessings! And if you're looking for blessings, look, redemption, forgiveness, grace, those are all more valuable than any amount of money, any job position posting, any political office you might seek. You shouldn't be. All of these things. Forgiveness, grace, redemption, all these things by blessing us with his son's sacrifice. Can't ask for more. Well, you can, but it's never going to be as good as that. The Lord, God has gone up with a shout, the Lord with the sound of a trumpet. Sing praises to God, sing praises. Sing praises to our King, sing praises. For God is the King of all the earth. Sing praises with understanding. Meaning, not only is God awesome, but you need to really understand the depth of what that means. It's not just saying, hey man, you're awesome. You the real MVP. It's more than that. Really, truly awesome. The creator of everything, if you want to look at it from acts that he has done. The power that he wields. Awesome in his capacity to forgive us. Create many of us to love and be loved by. Even knowing the fact that some of us will ignore him, or just choose not to believe in him or condemn him again, condemn him all outright and place the blame of others' actions, place the blame for their own ineptitude, their own mistakes on him. The awesomeness of everything that he represents. God reigns over the nations. God sits on his holy throne. The princes of the people have gathered together, the people of the God of Abraham. For the shields of the earth belong to God. He is greatly exalted. Just hang on to this psalm. When you get to a point where you get that God has looked out for you, he's always doing that, by the way. But when you come to points where you have understanding, this is where you should be. Sometimes you're going to go, and I encourage you all to go to church. Find a church to go to. Now, there are times that when you find a church that you're going to go where you're going to have a heavy heart. You're going to have times where you go and you are feeling guilty, shame for what you've done, confusion, doubt, these things that you feel. Sometimes, hopefully most of the time when you go, or once you start going, this right here, that should be where you live with this type of praise. That's Psalm 47. What's going on, Dresden? All right. Psalm 48. We got the glory of God in Zion, a psalm of the sons of Korah. Great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised in the city of our God, in his holy mountain. Beautiful in elevation, the joy of the whole earth. Is Mount Zion on the sides of the north, the city of the great king? I'm going to go back and reread this. I've got the punctuation all wrong. Great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised in the city of our God, in his holy mountain. Beautiful in elevation, the joy of the whole earth. Is Mount Zion on the sides of the north, the city of the great king? God is in her palaces. He is known as her refuge. For behold, the kings assembled. They passed by together. They saw it, and so they marveled. They were troubled. They hastened away. Fear took hold of them there, and pain as of a woman in birth pangs. As when you break the ships of Tarshish with an east wind. As we have heard, so we have seen, in the city of the Lord of hosts, in the city of our God. God will establish it forever. Salah. We have thought, O God, on your loving kindness in the midst of your temple. According to your name, O God, so is your praise to the ends of the earth. Your right hand is full of righteousness. Let Mount Zion rejoice. Let the daughters of Judah be glad because of your judgments. Walk about Zion and go all around her. Count her towers. Mark well her bulwarks. Consider her palaces, that you may tell it to the generation following. For this is God, our God, forever and ever. He will be our guide, even to death. Not as upbeat, not as how do we want to call it? Not as our celebratory. No, maybe that's not right either. Not as jubilant. That's what it. Not as jubilant as Psalm 47, but one that knows, that understands, that is glorifying what God is. Emmanuel Osorio says, true enlightenment and tranquility comes from God, not this Jedi meditation that people do. It shows God is our rock. Right. There's a lot of discussion about yoga. I don't think there's anything wrong with stretching, and I don't think there's anything wrong with um, seeking a quiet place in your mind to reflect. But that stretching should be done to treat your body as the temple that God has given you. And that quiet reflection in peace should be used to commune with the Lord. Not worshiping some weird Shiva cow or whatever the hell it is that the Hindus or whoever the yogis worship. No. Nothing wrong with seeking to be healthy mentally and physically. But make sure you're not damaging yourself spiritually. And use these opportunities to grow spiritually. Jedi meditation, indeed. Ugh. But some people think it's legit. And there are other folks like Eric Rollon who have very real concerns that it opens yourself up to more malignant and malicious entities. Great is the Lord and greatly to be praised in the city of our God, in his holy mountain. Remember, this is taking place in Jerusalem. So, the shining city, if we look at it from an American perspective, the shining city on the hill. If many people think, God has blessed us with this land, think of it from that perspective. God is to be praised. And hey, I feel blessed that I've been born in this with the blessings I'm surrounded by from birth. 2 believing parents who are still married to each other, who started me on my journey of faith, in a land that hasn't seen a real war zone on its own soil in multiple of my lifetimes. Economic well-being, comfort in all respects, education, whatever. Been blessed. This would be something that if this was present day, this would be something that I would be relating well to, and I think you should too, especially those of us who are Americans. We should be able to relate to it. Joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion on the sides of the north, the city of the great king. God is in her palaces. He is known as her refuge. Here's the thing. The Ark of the Covenant is there. All right. This is a nation. This is a city and a nation that God has outwardly provided and blessed. By name, by deeds and action. He has very overtly involved himself in battles to conquer and defend. God is in her palaces. He is known as her refuge. Somebody here understands the hand that feeds them and knows not to bite and instead show appreciation. That demand says for meditation, do the Jesus prayer. I mean, pray to Jesus. Say the Jesus prayer. Say the I always forget the names of the different prayers. The Lord's Prayer. Say all. Just like prayers that I do is like, what's heavy on my mind? What am I handing to God to hold for me? What worries do I have? Things that are important. As we have heard, so we have seen. In the city of the Lord of hosts and the city of our God, God will establish it forever. Selah. There's a lot of prophecy in that, and we can go a lot of different ways with it, but more than what we would is appropriate for this show. That would require me to do a lot more homework on and hear y'all's theories on things. But God, this is stuff that's been discussed thousands of years ago. These were written thousands of years ago. Oh, great. Hold on. Okay, good. It came back. Psalms were written from almost 1500 BC all the way to 550 BC. We are just starting the year 2024. What are you going to... It's been a while. We have thought, O God, on your loving kindness in the midst of your temple, according to your name, O God. So is your praise to the ends of the earth. Your right hand is full of righteousness. Let Mount Zion rejoice. Let the daughters of Judah be glad because of your judgment. Be judgments. Meditating, praying on God's loving kindness in the midst of the temple, things that he has done, what he has provided. We've gone over all the things that he has done for Israel, all the way back to the time of Abraham, or even go back to Noah, or even go back to Adam. Walk about Zion and go all about her. Go all around her. Count her towers. Mark well her bulwarks. Consider her palaces, that you may tell it to the generation following. For this is God, our God, forever and ever. He will be our guide, even to death. Walk around Jerusalem. Walk around this city that he has blessed. Look at it. See how blessed we've been. And tell it to the generations to follow. This is the big thing. Not just telling it to the generations to follow, but the generations to follow understanding. And that's where it all seems to fall apart. These guys understand it. Don't forget, God. Oops. Knocked my camera stand over a little bit. Don't forget. Don't forget what God is doing for us. What he has promised to do for us. What does he threaten to do if we don't at least attempt to keep up our side of the bargain. So yeah, God is there forever, and He is going to guide us there. He will always be our guide, even to our death. Well done. Well done, sons of Korah. You've been, whoever you guys are, been doing great. Anyways, all right. Well, that's a good start for Monday night. Positive. Nice to be positive. Nice to be celebratory. Nice to be remembering how we're doing things. Yeah, I like it. We are almost a third of the way through Psalms. I know if some of you guys are chafing at some of you guys may be chafing at the repetitiveness, but no. This is good practice. Spring training. This is off-season conditioning for you folks who are sports friends like me. Practice the fundamentals. Psalms gives you a lot of the fundamentals. Reminders of why God is great. Things to do when you are lost. The histories. It's all discussed in here. It's all meant to be remembered and practiced and considered. Because the fundamentals are called fundamentals because they are fundamental. And people have been tossing this fundamentalist word around as it's supposed to be negative in the context of Christians. Yeah. Call me a fundamentalist. Okay. I'll own that. That's a compliment to me. Because what Jesus did often throughout the Bible, or throughout the Gospels, is reinforce the fundamentals that God established the faith on. So call me a fundamentalist. That's just like calling me a Christian. All right, guys. Let's close it out for the night. Thad Demand, thanks for the comments. Thanks for the views. Emmanuel Osorio, good to see you here. Dresden, tuning in a little bit later than normal, but glad you're here. Alex Moore, Matt Felty, keep shoveling that snow. Hope you're done with it soon, so you can relax and do whatever it is that you do to unwind. Bit of a quiet chat tonight, but that's fine. Thank you guys for being part of the chat tonight. Thanks for what you do to contribute. Thanks for all of your words and commentary. Makes the show better. Seriously does. And it's very much welcome here. Please come back. Please come back. For anybody who is just listening and not commenting, that's great. I mean, I encourage you to be involved in chat, but really, I'm just glad that you are finding something that you can come back to night after night, and maybe one day you'll feel comfortable enough or motivated enough, impulsive enough to join the chat, and maybe you'll stick around. But thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. To everybody who's catching me on replay, sorry I didn't get to catch you live, but I hope to catch you there sometime soon. If you guys want to support the show, like I said, if you haven't liked and subscribed already, I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, do so. But the real way to support the show is share the show with other people. Talk about it to others. Word of mouth is best advertising. I am a firm believer in that. And I would like for you guys to do it for me. Hang on one second, Emmanuel. just encourage them to tune in. Tell them how much a great job, how much of a great time you have. And if they're looking for something like this to listen to, hey, might as well be me, right? All right. Manuel Sorio, I got this off of the YouTube list of um, music that is free to use. It is called The Colonel by Zachariah Hickman. Zachariah Hickman. You can find the title and artist, on the in the description down at the bottom. And I will be playing that very shortly. Because, folks, I'll be here tomorrow. But that means tonight's show is over. So you guys have a good evening, good night, and God bless.